Don't know much about history. Don't know much biology. Don't know much about a science book.
It's standard operating procedure for a new superintendent to introduce a new testing program. New tests invariably produce low scores. In fact, skeptics say that's why they do it. Start low, you can only get better. David Hornbeck introduced a new test, the Stanford 9, often called the SAT 9, in the spring of 1996. The first time it was given, confusion reigned.
The first time we took the SAT 9, we took it in the lunchroom.
Chaos.
Yes, chaos, total chaos.
Did anybody know about the test?
No.
Because I didn't know. We didn't know. I came to school and went to sleep on the test. I laid on the test and went to sleep because I didn't know what it was for.
The administration was told that don't worry about this. You know, it's just one of these tests. We want to see where we are. It doesn't count.
And I was surprised, quite frankly, at the number of reports that I've had that staff in schools basically told the kids not to take it seriously. I thought that in the instances where that happened most prominently, that was really quite unprofessional, to understate it somewhat.
The results shocked Philadelphia. Only 40% of students could read at a basic level. In math, only 24% reached basic level. Before the test was given for a second time in 1997, the school district mounted a public awareness campaign.
If your children are in Philadelphia public schools, they're about to take a very important test. Don't let anyone tell your children this test is not important. It's not a test you can study for, but you can help your child in a few simple ways. Make sure they get a good night's sleep before the test. Tell them to relax and just do the best they can. Help your children get ready for the future. Make sure they take the SAT 9.
All right, take your time.
Testing conditions were changed.
Pace yourself.
And what about this time?
And this time they took it in classrooms, sitting in classrooms, controlled environment. They kept students out of the hallways during the test.
Hornbeck says he changed procedures because he had learned from the first year's mistakes. The union has a different interpretation.
They did everything that they could to have low test scores the first time and did a whole lot of different things this time to improve the test scores.
Second-year test scores did go up at Olney and at most schools in the city.
It's not a real indication of what students have learned. It's more public relations and selling of a program, and that's why there's no great enthusiasm, even if it looks good. It's been staged.
To say that they're invalid is going to say that all that hard work by teachers and principals doesn't make any difference. Okay? Nice to see you. It's how I looked on my first day of school. I felt happy. Yeah, that's great. I don't want to overstate. Don't want to make claims about it that aren't there. I'm just delighted to see the beginning edges of genuine, measurable, significant change.
Ted Kirsch, who earlier had been skeptical of the SAT 9 exam, was complimentary.
And so this year now becomes the baseline for next year, because that's the way we're going to be able to show progress.
I agree with Ted.
In the spring of 1998, scores increased again. Scores went up again the fourth time Philadelphia students took the test. The first time around, just a quarter of the students passed basic skills tests in math and reading. This time, nearly half passed.
I'm satisfied very much with where we are. It's not at all where we've got to be.
What David has done has been nothing short of miraculous.
5 years later, in 2000, 52% of Philadelphia students read at a basic level or higher. 35% score basic or higher in math.
If you get stuck on something, go on to the next. You can always go back.
The biggest improvement by far came at the fourth grade level.
I confess I was just really ecstatic when the fourth grade scores came in, and they were so exceptionally up again.
How many people think they can do that today?
And those were the kids who had full-day kindergarten for the first time. And they're up 48% over the last 4 years, and that's just terrific.
For nearly 6 years, Hornbeck was unwavering in public about children achieving. Privately, however, he now admits he had his doubts.
When we started this, I had a hope or a faith or a something that if we did this stuff, we could succeed at scale with all the kids, but I didn't really know it in my gut.
When you came in, it was an article of faith.
Good morning.
Now it's faith and fact.
I think it is fact.
3 years ago, you gave children achieving an F. Would you still?
Well, the results are that it hasn't made the difference yet.
We have fought the myth that our kids can't learn. And by that I mean poor kids and disabled kids and non-native English speakers and African-American kids. And we have made, I think, substantive, palpable, measurable evidence that that myth is a myth.
Children with mild and moderate disabilities and children whose first language is not English bring standardized test scores down. And so some school systems find ways to keep those children from being tested. Hornbeck, however, insisted that all students take the test. That makes the increase more significant. Hornbeck says that's just part of children achieving.
All means all. What about all don't you understand? Special education kids are part of all. Kids whose first language isn't English are part of all.
The real test of the success of that program is when they say, yes, I want my kids in the Philadelphia public school system.